In this session, we'll have an introduction to this powerful visualization software called Tableau. It helps us actually to create our own visualization, right? Once you have the data, we can create our own visualizations using this, and we can very well interact with the Tableau sample dashboards which are already published, right? With our data we can actually create new ones. Some of the ones we can visualize, we can look at whichever are published on the website, get inspired and create some of them, right? So you can actually produce more and more meaningful dashboards which can help for clear communication, right? The main intention of the dashboard is always communicate your data in a much better manner to all the stakeholders. So obviously once you have communicated it better, it can facilitate the decision making process. So whosoever are the decision takers, probably the strategic decision makers in the organization or operational team members, whosoever it is, the decision making process becomes more and more simple. So just to define what is a dashboard, what we simply talk of is it's a visual display. Anytime we use the word dashboard, we are talking about a visual display of the most important information, and the display I'm doing for one or more objectives. So I have an objective in mind, and corresponding to that objective I'm creating a visual display. So I'm consolidating my data right from different sources, consolidation of the data. I'm arranging it in such a way, especially as a part of the single screen. The moment I open, it should be visible in one single screen. So the information can very well be monitored in one single go. So that is the typical meaning of any dashboard. So it should help right from an executive level to the top management level. It should be helping all of everyone, especially to track, to monitor and analyze, right? They can track, monitor and analyze the information across the organization so that they can take much better decisions, and they can actually contribute to the current and the future prosperity of the company. So just to understand what the dashboards do, first of all, they help you to evaluate whether you are coming closer to your goal or not. Are the goals and objectives of the organization met? Are we on track? So that is something a dashboard can really help you to understand. They actually reveal a lot of important aspects of your data. They help you to understand the data very quickly, rather than in a data or table form. If it is in a dashboard form, it helps you to understand the entire information quickly, which means you have more and more time for planning and taking decisions. You have more time to take decisions. And because it's a visual tool, communication is more and more consistent, and it can really create impact across the ladder. So one more powerful advantage, and a confidence builds for you in your insights into the process. So it helps you to gain a lot of insight with respect to the organization information in a very quick time span. So decision making becomes more and more accurate and more appropriate. So that's one of the prime reasons we rely on the dashboard. And another important aspect, not every report is a dashboard. The key aspect is it should be interactive to a large extent. Right? The more and more interactive it is, the more powerful is this kind of a dashboard. So it's not a simple report. It should tell me the complete story of the business. And I should be able to change some of the inputs to check how the outputs are going to change accordingly. So that is what will be facilitated by a dashboard, and there is no need to say Tableau is one such powerful dashboard creating kind of a software which is very powerful in the recent world. Now, if I try to open Tableau, right, once you have installed your Tableau and you have opened it, the interface looks more like this, right? You open your Tableau desktop. The moment you open your Tableau desktop, this is how the getting started kind of stuff comes up. Now, here you see there are 3 sample workbooks that are given. Okay, let's take one of them. So I have clicked on the Superstore dashboard that is already present. So you see the way it is presented. There are so many dimensions. Here you could see different tabs. Here there is a data source. The source of data is present here, right? The overview. Then I have a product specific dashboard. I have customer specific. I have shipping specific, performance specific. So these are all different kinds of worksheets. These are the different worksheets that are there, and it's like a tab in Excel. It's a data visualization on its own. Now all this put together is what we call as a workbook. So just like Excel, worksheet is something on its own, right? Each data. So we have a data source, and on the top of it we have created some kind of overviews, and then we have dug product wise, we have dug down. We'll see how we create all these things, but this is how the typical dashboard looks like. Now if you see here, there is a lot of interactivity across, right? We are talking about the size, so the minimum, the maximum, and if you look at okay, here I can interact, performance, or probably here consumer. If I am clicking at, I can really look out for, okay, let me look at the overall. So I can click on either the product and get the details of the product. There is a lot of interactivity there. I can click on the customers. I can get the details regarding the customers. You could see I move the cursor on the top of it. I get different kinds, different interactions that are coming out. I click here, correspondingly the person is being selected. Now there is a lot of interactivity that is coming out. The customer rank, the customer scatter, the performance part. Now each and every aspect is typically selected. So there is a lot of dynamicness that is coming up. Now if you look at the changing the size of the presentation and all, you can very well do it from the data. Now we'll create our own data. Now if you see here, this is the data for 2011. But if I want to change it to 2012, my graph changes. If I want it for 2013, now you see the colors are changing. Right? For 2014, it's a different game altogether. And probably if I want to select All segments, fine. If I just want to select only the consumer, the numbers are slightly different. So this kind of interactive stuff that comes is what we are calling as a dashboard, right? Any kind of interactive stuff. Now you can very well point to any one single data, and probably you can observe what is actually happening overall. So that is what is coming out as a part of the entire data visualization. We have a workbook, we have a worksheet. So the dashboard is allowing you to manipulate all the worksheets together, and you can really play around with it. Then only we are calling it as a dashboard, right? The values should change dynamically. You should have that kind of an interaction, how you want to change a particular data. So Tableau gives us different such kind of features where you can make it more and more interactive. There are different ways. It gives us to create sliders. It helps us to do the filtering by color, or it helps us move from one dashboard to other, or you can create some kind of radio buttons and you can manage the stuff. You can create some kind of drop down lists and you can manage the stuff. You can create some kind of timelines and you should be able to manage the stuff. So there are so many interactive kind of features that are given by Tableau, and along with that they also help you to create a few parameters and change the values of these parameters to see how the output is going to change accordingly, to see the impact on the entire activity. So parameter is more like a dynamic value. It helps you to change the value on the spot and see, so which means the user can give his own input and see how the output is impacted because of that, right? So there is all these kinds of stuff that are typically being provided as a part of the Tableau dashboard. So there are a series of, to understand how this entire thing comes up, there are a lot of sample dashboards that are a part of the installation. As we have seen here, in our installation we had 3 dashboards. Otherwise you can even visit online to typically get some kind of dashboards. So you visit the Tableau website, get the samples, or you can even submit your samples as well. But overall, if you see, once you are looking at this kind of a dashboard, it is giving me the quick feedback, right? It is giving me quick feedback, which means for a decision maker interacting with this kind of a dashboard, I can get a quick flash response, quick response as to how things are moving and am I really on track or not. So that is one of the main objectives of creating a dashboard, and we should become more and more comfortable in creating such a kind of interactive dashboard. So we know that visualization is very powerful. We can visualize a lot of things from this kind of a data. We'll take our own data, we'll try to create our own visualizations using this kind of a product. Thanks a lot for listening to this introduction session. Thank you very much.